friend Colin Evans with Evans Financial Group. Today we are talking about the 3 phases of our financial life. So, Colin, there is a little bit of everything for everyone in every stage of their life. Let's talk about it.
Just a little bit, we kind of, instead of kind of grouping thing of here's what I do in my 20s and here's what I do in my 30s, there's really 3 kind of key phases that we go through. And the first one being, this is the accumulation phase. And we kind of base that off of, that can go from our 20s all the way up to 40s to 50s in that. But this is a time when, we just get out of school, we may just be starting our career, and we're starting to stick money back into either IRAs or, if we're fortunate, and our companies offer that. And this is the time that we're getting to, kind of use those benefits that are offered to us. And when we get that, as we kind of start shifting and we start moving as we age and we get older, we have to start realizing that it's now going to be a time of looking at what we go into the second phase, which is preservation. And well, we want to, we start as the retirement window starts to get closer and closer, as we're moving towards it, we want to start protecting some of these assets.
Absolutely.
And it might be time for us to start looking at different strategies and taking different perspectives on things, because now it's like, hey, I've accumulated this over the years. Now I really need to start protecting this and taking a little bit more conservative approach to things.
So not being as risky, is that right, Colin?
Right. That's exactly what we're looking at. And it's time for us to look at things differently and say, hey, we've accumulated this from my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, now maybe into my 50s. Now it's time for us to start, preserving this as we start looking, because on that, that kind of final part of horizon this is our distribution time.
And it comes sooner than we think, right?
Yeah, it's funny as we see things, and as corporate America changes, and we've even seen it locally with one of our especially in the oil and gas industries, with companies that are doing like pension buyouts and things like that. And it's like, hey, these folks are close to retirement time. Why don't we go ahead and offer them buyouts and things of that nature? And people kind of get thrown into it a little bit faster than they might expect. So when we have that, it's like when we paid attention to this early, we were able to go, okay, hey, look, we already entered into the preserving side of this. Now you might have to distribute a little bit earlier, but we paid attention to this roadmap a little bit more strategically as we got closer to this retirement time.
Right, and vital to thinking ahead and kind of weighing out your risk of when to pull, when to go back, when to invest, when to contribute. Often we always think we have more time than when we do.
Absolutely.
And we can never, we always have to think about inflation too, of coming in different parts of our lives, as well.
And we saw so much of that. We saw so much of that this past year with inflation. And it hit everybody.
Everybody.
Completely across the board. So from the pain that we felt at the pumps, and the joke that we've seen as of late has been, what's the eggs cost us? It's like, hey, I found my retirement plan. My retirement plan's 4 dozen of these bad boys.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's so true, Colin. I mean, I laugh, but it's really sad. So last, our distribution phase as well, equally just as important.
And that's really putting the roadmap in place. And as we're having that distribution, as one of our recent discussions, like, we don't want to run out of money before we run out of life. It's like, we don't want to hit that. One of our standard jokes that we use quite often is, hey, you might not want to be buying green bananas. And what I mean by that is you might not make it till the time that they ripen.
Ooh, I love that analogy.
And when we say that, we don't know what our end date is. Our creators did that for us. We don't know how long we're in our longevity time frame. So planning that and putting that roadmap in place gives us that kind of that security and that, I'll say, sleep blanket that we get to go, okay, I know I'm going to be okay, whether inflation's going nuts or we've got, rocky times like we saw over the last year. That gives us that time frame to go, hey, this is my retirement. I don't want to have to worry about this.
And have a little bit of that cushion room as well, not have to be overthinking, did I go into retirement too early? Do I need to go back into work?
It is, because it's a scary step. We talked about it just briefly last week. This is a little bit of the unknown, and you're kind of wondering, hey, what do I have? I've got 40 hours that I was working with my work family. Now I've got 40 hours of, hey, what do I need to do? Do I want to garden? Do I want to golf? Do I want to go on vacation? And do those types of things.
Extra fun.
And fill the void. But I also have the opportunity to 40 hours to spend and go, hey, is it time for me do I need to be concerned with this?
Right. Can I splurge on the 18 count instead of the 12 count of eggs, right? Right, Colin? Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Mattel is honoring these sisters in